The King's Road is thought to be the route by which the Scottish monarchs were at one time taken from Kilwinning to Portencross with a put aboard a ship and taken to Iona for burial. Kenneth MacAlpin, the first King of Scots, may be the first to be so interred in the 9th century, and it seems that Malcolm Canmore, Malcolm III, would be the last in the 11th. Kilwinning Abbey didn't exist at this time, but there would have been a religious settlement where the king's entourage could get food and shelter. The procession would have left the settlement and passed up through Byres and Whitehurst. Then it continued past the Ashen Yards, or nowadays known as Ashgrove site, to where it would join the Old Clay Road, which may have been part of the old Avondale Roman Road, which extended from Loudon Hill and ran right the way down to Hunterston and Brigurd Point. It's said that during the Reformation, at one point when the Abbey was being sacked by reformers, the treasures of the Abbey were taken and placed in one of the crannogs in the Ashgrove Loch, which this route passes by. The section of the Old Clay Road from Mosmulloch down to the Ardrossan to Dalry Road is no longer in use. It can be seen, though, on the older Ordnance Survey maps. The section from the nearby Muirloch Farm through to Meikle Ettington is very clear. Tinkler Hill is a very obvious landscape feature. You can see the holloway running to the left, that is the course of the old King's Road. You can see from the amount of erosion here that horse traffic and pedestrian traffic over many centuries has caused the earth to be washed away by the rainfall. The King's Corpse Road would also have been used by normal travellers, and it would have been used by pilgrims on their way to Iona. From Knockewart, the route ran to the south of Blackshaw Hill, up towards Hopetoun Farm, now abandoned. Along the way it passed a number of examples of cup and ring mark stones dating from the Neolithic, the purpose of which is unknown. It's been suggested that they were to show as maps the location of metal deposits, also star maps. It's even suggested they had a genealogical function as in some form of family tree. The prominent hill fort and cairn of Knockjargan lie slightly to the south, and the now drained Knockewart Loch was not far away. Hopetoun Farm was once quite substantial. By 1910 all that remained was one dwelling in use as a residence and probably as stables. The Avondale Roman Road and the King's Road are still following the same course at this point. Further down, as the road approaches West Kilbride, substantial changes have been made to it. This probably was to serve the farm of Hopetoun and a nearby now lost farm of Newton. Older routes typically followed the higher ground to avoid the wet and marshy areas within the glens. The section running down towards West Kilbride passes just to the north of Law Hill. This once contained a hill fort. It may also have been the site of the baronial courts of the days of feudal jurisdiction. The entourage would have consisted of officials, possibly close relations as well as soldiers, and a certain amount of pack animals to carry food and drink. The body itself may have been carried on a bier between a pair of horses. Law Castle was built for Princess Mary, who is the sister of King James III of Scotland, upon her marriage to the Earl of Arran, However, this was annulled as he was accused of treason. Law Castle didn't exist at the time, but from this site the route continued down towards Portencross. A section of this is known as the halfway. This is thought to derive from the Scandinavian term halfweg, meaning the route to the sea. Old Hill was the site of Ardneil or Arneil Castle. Along this section of the coast there are a number of fish traps. These could be anything up to 3,000 years old. There was also probably a fish pond at the far land point near Portencross, where excess fish could be kept until they were acquired. The old Avondale Roman Road is thought to have branched off to the right of Old Hill, past the ruins of what was Third Part Farm, over Galberry Hill, past Hunterston, then down onto the coast, where there may have been a Roman port at Brigurd Point. Portencross Castle didn't exist at the time. However, the harbour was a suitable size for the small ships that were in use at the time. From here, the body with the entourage would have made their way to Iona for the final interment.